Hello, everybody. My name is Megan, one of the directors here at Reynolds-Jonkhoff Funeral Home. And on behalf of myself and the entire team here at the funeral home, it's been a true honor to serve Paula and her family during this time. In just a few moments, we have a beautiful service that's been compiled, but I'd like to ask if you have a cell phone or any other distraction to please make sure at this time, out of respect for the family, it's turned off or at least silented. Thank you all for attending.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all
is
that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
all
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Good morning. My name is the Reverend Alex Jensen, and I welcome you to this celebration of life for one incredibly momentous life. We gather this morning to remember the life of Pauline Lynn Ward, or as many of us knew her, Paula. On behalf of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Grand Traverse, where I serve as the minister and pastor, I extend our support and love to the Ward family especially as our community bids farewell to a cherished and beloved member. After spending some time with the family and listening to some of the powerful stories of Paula's life, I am certain that Paula lived her life intentionally in pursuit of a single question. What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? This is a line from one of Paula and Paul's favorite poems by Mary Oliver, and I believe it beautifully captures the vigor and enthusiasm that Paula met life with. Indeed, she lived each day in such a way that she'd never let life pass her by. She always found beauty in the world, never leaving anything unsaid or undone. Paula was a living example for all of us in how to answer yes to life, day after day, even when life itself proved challenging and difficult. She lived life to the best. She lived her best life. Paula was a teacher at heart, influencing, inspiring, and yes, even saving the lives of countless children. Paula knew how to make people, especially kids, feel loved fully as they are. She cultivated the hearts and minds of generations of youth through her over 20 years of teaching and service as an educator. But beyond just teaching, Paula lived an immensely spiritual life. The words of Mark Nepo, the Dalai Lama, and several other of her spiritual teachers mattered a lot to her. She lived her life as an overarching expression of gratitude, taking nothing as given or for granted. The welcome video that we all saw was a favorite video of Paula's, where she would watch it over and over again, even spreading it and sharing it and its powerful message with others. Gratitude was Paula's own love song for the world, a song that she sang each day by living out her values and her unshakable sense of faith in every single human being she encountered. She believed so deeply in people seeing them for their best selves, or the best versions of themselves that she saw that they could still become. And on that note of Paula's love song to the world, Paula carried with her a deep passion for music. A lover of Celtic music, Paula took delight in sharing music with others, oftentimes bringing her flute with her everywhere she went. She never knew when the opportunity to play and share music might arise, and she always wanted to be prepared. She and the love of her life, her husband Paul of 42 years of marriage, they often shared music together, playing for others who perhaps just needed a bit more joy in their lives. Paula even shared this great love of music with her children, Will and Anna. And she believed deeply in the power of music to both touch and transform lives, as well as believing in its power to heal. Diagnosed with cancer, Paula never left anything unsaid. She never missed an opportunity to connect with others or to be present to somebody in great need. She always saw the opportunity for teachable moments, moments of connection. She was a true servant for others, even through times of her own illness and sickness, where others facing the same might have given up. Paula lived a selfless life out of her love for this world, and for this we should all be grateful for the love that she shared with us. Yes, Paula lived her life in response to that one central question: what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And dear ones, she's answered that question daily, always choosing love and kindness, determined and stubborn as she was to make this world a better place. Gathered friends and family of Paula, we enter now into this time of celebration to honor Paula's life. Though Paula has died, her spirit lives on in our hearts and the immeasurable ways that she touched each of our lives and the lives of others. I invite you in this hour to remember her, to hold on your heart the memories that you carry with you of Paula. As we enter into this time, we'll hear stories of remembrance from her beloved husband Paul, her sister Cindy, and her dear friends Laura and Andrea. We mark the start of this celebration of life by lighting a chalice with words from one of Paula's well-worn and used books of meditation and poetry by Mark Nepo. The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the faith that Paula, Paul, and their children embraced as a family. It is a flame that reminds us of the immeasurable value and worth of a single human life. And likewise, its flame rising out of a cup, a chalice, a religious and sacred symbol of compassion and servitude. I can think of no better reminder of the light and warmth that Paula radiated out with her own life. I'll now invite the family to come forward to light the chalice as I read these words. It is said that souls intent on living will reach deep into their wound and bring out the fire living there, which out in the open turns to light. It is said that those intent on making things better will reach deep into their minds and bring out the fire there, which out in the open turns to truth. It is said that those who love, like rain, soothe every fire. May we remember this great light, this burning flame and soother of life and love, who loved beyond words. We'll hear now our opening music, Mendelssohn's Sweet Remembrance, performed by our congregation's pianist, Barbara Young. Our reading this morning is another poem from Mark Nepo, titled Adrift, and I'll now invite Paula's beloved husband, Paul, to come forward and read this for us.
Paula loved the writings of Mark Nepo, and she read his work every day. This was one of her favorites. Everything is so beautiful, and I am so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of a fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch as this ache makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, in the next song, in the laugh of the next stranger, in the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take, no one can take away, and all that we've lost face each other. It is there that I am adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists in everything. I am so sad, and everything is so, so beautiful. My beloved Paula was a mystic soul. She sought by meditation and prayer to comprehend spiritual truths that are beyond the intellect. She believed in the divine and that all humanity is connected. She believed in love. She believed in the power of prayer. Paula sought wisdom from many diverse religious traditions and was especially fond of the writings of Pope Francis, the Dalai Lama, Desmond Tutu, Mother Teresa. This is just one of Paula's daily meditation books. It's called 365 Days of Renewal, and it's well worn. She had it at her feet and looked at it every day, and I picked it up, and it looks like a porcupine. She has, I didn't count them, but I estimate 365 favorite passages, all tabbed so she could find them. I'm really not some of the pages are dog-eared and highlighted as well as tabbed, so. When Paula was first diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, her prognosis was maybe a year, and I thought that was quite generous. But we both believed that the outpouring of love and prayer from all of you, the visits, the cards, the calls, the text, are what extended her life for nearly 4 years, that outpouring of love. And for that, Paula and I are deeply grateful to all of you. We referred to Paula's illness as the long goodbye. In our long goodbye, nothing was left unsaid. We had many, many tender moments together. Shortly after entering hospice a couple of weeks ago, she asked me, Have I loved enough? Have I loved enough? Oh, my dear sweet darling. Yes, yes. You have loved so well and so deeply and so very, very much. Let me count the ways for you. You have loved this fortunate soul fully and completely for 42 years. You blessed us with children, and you showered them with love, and now they, in turn, are loving their life partners. We are so grateful to witness that in our lifetimes. They have found loves to share their lives with. Your love fills our home, but it doesn't stop there. It overflows into our community. You gift love wherever you go, and that is why you have lifelong friendships and still make new friends. Isn't that love? You studied years to earn your teaching degrees, and then you applied your skills with love and kindness. How many times have I seen a face brighten and break out into a joyous smile just upon seeing you? Mrs. Ward, remember you? Remember me? You were my favorite teacher. That can only be love. And isn't music the language of love? You often told me your technical precision wasn't the best. I didn't believe that, but you could interpret a piece like no other. Such musicality. Remember Bolero? The slow military-style drumming starts, and then your flute solo washes over us and fills the auditorium simply at first, and you danced and coaxed the notes out of your flute. The entire band joins in and creates a glorious crescendo, leaving us in the audience in awe. You give your music freely to so many of us. Isn't that love, my dear? You don't battle cancer. You, dear one, are a lover, not a fighter. Yes, it has been a part of your life for a few of your 64 years, but cancer neither defines nor diminishes you. You are determined to live your best possible life no matter the challenges. Isn't that why we quote Mary Oliver to each other as we plan our days? What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Isn't that love for life? Surely Nemo had someone exactly like you in mind when he sang, "All that you are, all that you've ever been, all that you will ever be is a blessing." You're an inspiration, giving love to all of us. That's why we're all here. So yes, yes, my sweet darling, you have loved enough, and the world is better for it. Blessed be. Amen.
I'll now invite Paula's sister, Cindy Wolf, to come up and offer some remembrances.
Good morning. I want to thank everybody for coming today to celebrate Paula. I have had the great honor of knowing her the longest of all of you here. I've been blessed to spend 60 years with her. We loved each other, and with siblings, we also fought, mostly over cleaning our shared bedroom in Detroit. I was the throw it in the closet, shut the door type. She knew it wouldn't fly with Mom, so she knew if she cleaned it up, we could go play. I knew that she knew that if she cleaned it up, we could go play. So I kindly got out of her way and sat on my bed and played and read while she cleaned the whole room. She still remembered that to the very end. But we also were blessed because we were able to share what we thought our dreams were going to be in our future. We were going to be airline stewardesses. We were going to do all kinds of adventures. We were going to grow old and go on road trips together. And we did go on road trips. And I'm not going to tell you how old we were when we did that, but we did go. One thing is for sure, we Glasson girls, as we were known, stuck together through thick and thin. I want to take you back in time for just a moment. Prior to Paula turning 3, she was blessed the first time for being a big sister to our sister Joyce. So sorry. Joyce was born with Down syndrome, and she had many medical challenges. And Paula obviously wasn't just turned 3 when she was born, but oh, what a huge impact she had on my sister. I think she used my sister Joyce as a catalyst for teaching, and especially for specializing in special education. She always loved all children, and she has an innate way to find how to reach, teach, and grow a child's ability for them to succeed at any level. I remember when Paula first brought Paul home. There was this great big smile on her face and sparkles in her eye. Here stood the love of her life, and what a beautiful love story they have shared. For over 42 years. How could it not be? After all, they were a team, Paula and Paul, or as their t-shirts they wore to their wedding rehearsal said quite simply and profoundly, P&P. But what could make their love story even better? The addition of 2 beautiful children, Will and Anna. Paula loves you so much, and she's so proud of the adults you have become. And she's watching over your next great adventures, and she can't wait to see what you all accomplish. Most importantly, that the family has grown and you've added 2 wonderful loves of your life into your life, Sierra and Kyle. But you filled her heart with thankfulness, joy, happiness, laughter, and most of all, love. I am so sorry. In closing, my sister has taught me so much how to live one's best life with great responsibility, love, truth, purpose, acceptance, and compassion. So live each day with your heart on your sleeve, music in your soul, forgiveness, and most importantly, love. Live and love each day to its fullest, like my sister. Thank you.
will now invite Paula's dear friend Laura Slaughter to come forward and offer some remembrances.
Oh, there's a lot of people who love her, huh? Paula and I have been best friends since we were in high school. We were nerdy band geeks in marching band, and since then our lives have been intertwined. Paul and my husband met in college, and the four of us have shared weddings and babies and holidays and joys and losses. We are godparents to Will, and Paula and Paul are godparents to my daughter Sarah. So there will be a big hole. And I'm trying to have this attitude that if I keep thinking of all the wonderful things about her and that she stood for, that I can keep her alive in my heart. Everyone who knew Paula, I hear everyone say how kind she was. And she really put her kindness into action. She made love a verb. She would send flowers, sometimes anonymously. She baked what became her famous chocolate chip cookies for comfort. And she never gave up on those people that she loved. There were no lost causes for her. She sent a lot of beautiful cards. She was the queen of cards. She loved to send them, and she loved to receive them. And to all of you who through this time have sent cards to Paula, you can know that they did not get stuffed away in a basket. She had Paul put every one of them up on the wall. Every one of them. It was a big wall. And Paula called it her wall of love. And it gave her a lot of strength. Paula was a stubborn woman, and it served her well in the last 3.5 years. When she was first diagnosed, her body was so weak and wouldn't let her do much, and she was so active that grieved her. So she started a training program. She started with tiny walks along the bay with Paul that got longer and longer and longer, and she was still suffering while she was walking for a long time. And finally she was able to complete in the Charlevoix 5K marathon? Half marathon. And that was a joyous day. That was a joyous day. And I remember sitting in a coffee shop with Paula when she shared that dream with me, that she wanted to do that, and I thought, oh no. She told me about the training program she'd have to have. She had to walk frontwards and sideways and backwards, and I thought, oh my God. Her bones she was very fragile, and she couldn't fall. But of course, I didn't say that. And she would have none of that anyway, because she was so determined. So I got her a bracelet that said badass. And rightfully so, when Paula died, Paul passed that on to Anna, who is also very much a badass. Her stubbornness was also evident in her will to be well enough to dance at Will and Sierra's wedding, and she did. I think the picture up here is of her at that wedding, and she was beautiful, and it was a joyous, joyous occasion. And her final wish was to see Anna and Kyle get married. And she was able to do that because of Anna and Kyle's emotional flexibility, amazing emotional flexibility, and willingness to change everything on a dime in just a few days. Anna earned that badass bracelet. And while Paula's determined was a major part of these things, Paul was beside her every step of the way, 24 hours a day. I can't imagine a more loving and devoted husband. In closing, I hope that to honor Paula, that we can all really rally around her family, embrace them in our love, all of them. Paul, Anna, and Kyle, Will, and Sierra, and Cindy, and her family. Because I'm pretty sure that's what Paula would want us to do. Thank you.
I will now invite Andrea Walworth, another dear friend of Paula's, to come forward to offer some remembrances.
I will be forever grateful that my life's journey intersected with Paula's and that we became such dear friends. Our relationship began, as so many do, with children and their activities. Our paths crossed at UU, school functions, and sporting events. Our eldest children, Will and Quinn, were on the Nordic ski team together. We'd cheer them on, clanging cowbells and stomping our feet, trying to stay warm. Our daughters, Anna and Jamie, became friends in 4th grade and remain close to this day. Their friendship ushered in sleepovers, proms, and weddings. The turning point in my relationship with Paula occurred when I called to ask about resorts in Mexico. Paul said, "Join us. The girls will have fun together." The girls did indeed have fun together, but the 4 of us, we had a blast. Spending time together on that trip allowed us to bond in ways we hadn't before. We returned with private jokes and shared memories. Best of all, we came back knowing one another on a different level. We became traveling companions and hiking buddies. We just liked hanging out together. When Paula was diagnosed with cancer, she shared her desire to live life to the fullest. Early on, she cried on my shoulder, fearing she'd never play her flute again or walk in the woods, that she might not live long enough to attend Will and Sierra's wedding. She worked hard to regain her strength and slowly went from needing to rest midway up a flight of stairs to walking a half marathon. At some point during that challenging initial year with cancer, Paula thanked me for treating her like Paula and not like sick Paula. Those are among the kindest words I've ever heard. As Paula resumed doing all of the things she'd love, we'd celebrate each achievement. Band concerts followed by cocktail parties, an afternoon of hiking followed by drinks on the deck, her favorite gin and tonic tall, Tanqueray. We traveled again, returning to our favorite places and discovering new ones. One of the highlights from this time was a return trip to Lake Superior Provincial Park. We decided to hike Orphan Lake Trail to the first overlook. The plan was to turn around before the trail got really challenging, but the spectacular views and beautiful day encouraged us to complete the entire loop. As we finished the hike, a tired but jubilant Paula let out a joyous woo-hoo, having done something she didn't think she'd ever do again. Just a couple of weeks ago, I sat with her while Paul was out. We spent hours reminiscing, looking through old photo albums. At one point, Paula was telling me a funny story about her dad and how he loved the song that begins, "Jeremiah was a bullfrog." Paula started singing and couch dancing, and I, a person who can't dance or carry a tune, joined in. Several choruses of Joy to the World later, we were both grinning in delight. As I was getting ready to leave, Paula quipped, "Don't run into any mailboxes," teasingly referring to the time I took out their neighbor's mailbox following a particularly emotional visit. The final time I saw Paula was the evening of Anna and Kyle's wedding. I wandered upstairs to say hello, carrying my grandbaby Leon. Paul was sitting next to Paula. Without giving it much thought, I put Leon into Paul's arms. As he played with the baby, Paula looked on, her eyes beaming with love and a smile of joy on her face. I'd like to believe she was envisioning Paul holding their future grandchildren and knowing that her beloved family would be okay. Paula's spirit and zest for life was infectious. Music, beauty, and joy danced in her heart. Go in peace, my friend. May the spirit of love surround you as your love surrounded us. We were blessed to have you in our lives.
Having heard these wonderful and beautiful remembrances from some of the family and friends who both knew and loved Paula most, I invite you into a time of centering as we hold for a brief moment, a moment of stillness. Will you pray with me? Spirit of life, source of all light and love, we are grateful for this time to honor a life both well lived and well loved. Help us to remember Paula by noticing how she is with us still, even though she has now passed. Help us to find her in the smile of a stranger, in the laughter of a child, in the sweet melodies of both music and gratitude. Have us know that Paula is with us still, and that we will always carry her with us in our hearts. May we live each day honoring the ways she's moved us and touched our lives. May we live as she did, answering for ourselves each moment, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? May we carry her fire, her unrelenting spirit of kindness and generosity, with us as we serve others in need. May we all have the peace and joy she found in living her best life. And let us live our lives in both celebration and remembrance of Paula. May it be so, and amen. We'll now go to a closing video and piece of music that Paula shared with our congregation. If Paula were here, she would want her music to be shared and listened to by many. I invite you to enjoy these improvisations of Paula's as we watch and hear music performed on her flute alongside her dear friend Amanda Mangiardi. In the spirit of Paula and all of us who have gathered to celebrate her memory, may we leave this place comforted, transformed, and ready to answer yes to life. Our service is now at an end. Go in peace, everyone. Go in love. Carry the light of Paula's life with you everywhere you go. May it be so, and amen.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today, providing love and support to the family during this time. May you all go in peace.